thanks to Christina and Dale
Thank you,
for being
Christina.
willing to have me read, and it's certainly an honor. I appreciate it, and it's like I get to play with the big kids, over the day.
I feel the same
And
way.
I even wore my best denim shirt, also my worst denim shirt, my only denim shirt. I painted in several houses, so you can actually tell the colors. So I'm going to read a couple poems out of the book, and then a couple out of a book that I have someday, somewhere coming out. But, so this is and last Thursday I became a Canadian citizen. I'm a transplant. I'm originally from the I was here as a permanent resident, but I'm a citizen now. I can vote. And I ran into the guy, Dr. What's that
Ellis.
name? MLA guy?
Ellis.
Yeah, Dr. Ellis, yeah. I ran into him at the store the day before I took my citizenship. Oh, I said, yeah, I'll be voting. I said, not for you.
Nice.
But we had a nice conversation anyway. That aside. So this is maybe topical, or it's called Amends to America. It's time I make amends to you, Miss America, you greedy bitch. I'd like to repair the wrongs I've done to you with words. I'd like to slather them like medicinal stucco of the nicks I've made in your steel mesh mind. I'd like to grate the words like Parmesan cheese over that steel mesh and let the flavors combine and collide. Ted Kennedy loves you, America, even though you murdered his brothers. Bob Dylan loves you still. I tell you because you might not know this. Maybe you've forgotten. Age and worry can do that. I'm not in love with you anymore, America. You've caged my children in cinder block desolation. You've eaten my years and demanded more. I forgive you, but I don't forget, at least not like I'm supposed to, according to your way. I can't forget Oliver North, Manuel Noriega, Iraq, anthrax, assassinations, renditions, Somoza, Pinochet, Guatemala, Salvador, Guantanamo Bay. I can't forget the intentional loss of the war on drugs, the terrifying, never-ending war on terror. Teach me to forget, America. I'll zombie step if you just show me how to flip the switch that turns off my mind. I'm sorry, America. I've made a mess with my life. Spent your reserves like a drunken sailor, left the greasy film of my days in your waters like a petroleum rainbow. I'm sorry I left a ring around the bathtub and the toilet seat up. I'll clean it up. I'll clean it up with the shirt off my back if I have to. A t-shirt from the Salvation Army thrift store that says, New Hampshire, live free or die. I'm sorry I could not genuflect when you gutted a rack like a fish. I'm sorry I did not scream or lay my body on the tracks to stop the train you rode, a juggernaut that rolled over truth, common sense, and decency alike. I wish I could recommend someone to help you clean up that mess, but once the cat's out of the bag, it's a bitch, like trying to get the blood out of the flag. I'm sorry I called you a greedy bitch, Miss America. I'm the greedy bitch after all. I've owned more automobiles than many people have owned shoes. I watched Channel 2, and I never sent them a dime. I worked under the table and paid no tax, shoveled crumbs into my mouth until my cheeks bulged like a chipmunk. I didn't dare share them with you. You're welcome to them some. You're welcome to some now. They're under your table. You dropped them. I'm sorry, America. I forgot to shave. Although I did shave tonight to cut myself. Even though you make the razor blades in Boston. Remember, America, when you shaved my head and vaccinated me with a pneumatic gun, how you taught me to throw a grenade, assemble and disassemble an M16A1 rifle? I guess that seems funny now. You might chuckle to know that I still can't shine a pair of boots. I've made some unwilling amends to you, America. I've paid unwilling tribute by order of your tribunal like too many before me. We've paid with our firstborn child, watched in horror as they disappeared down your gullet, legs and arms flailing with your bloody maw, flailing from your bloody maw as your mandibles crunch and crack bone, ceaselessly chewing. I offer saltines, America, as a substitute for blood and bone. I offer healthful advice as well. Stop and drink water, 8 liters a day. You kill stray dogs, crush old cars, and jail poor people, America. I am a stray dog, old car, poor person for your convenience. I don't own a gun, I can't fight back. My teeth are gone, I can't bite back. I really want to say I'm sorry we can't get along. I ask too much. I'm asking you not to throw the poets in jail. I'm asking you to let my children live. I swear they don't even know me. Well, a disclaimer, that's perhaps the most vulgar thing I ever wrote. I don't usually use off-color language, so my apologies if that offended anyone, but it won't happen again. So I had company from Austria. My brother was a scientist in Austria. He passed away a few years ago, and I wrote this poem when I was going to see him. It was my brother John, going to see John. The last leg of travel, and I relax, open my mind, and then, only then, remember why I'm on the road this time. The old habits, curiosities, and flirtations follow us into the grave. Excitement and vanities pump up in turn. Devices open to pass the time, and the days go slowly away. So I'm waiting for this plane to push back, and I remember that you are no longer a runner, are not even mobile, are in fact dying much faster than most of us. My bones groan with age and accumulated sorrow. Even when I'm not aware, my skeleton tells me of your illness, tangles with grief over our temporal state. It whispers news of your condition over oceans past stars without battery or wire. So it's the last leg, and summer's coming. The plane pushes back, and in just a few hours, we'll meet again one more time. Okay, so that's from the book, and this is not from the book. So I used to call myself a blue collar. A lot of the poems in the book are about work, actually, or a little bit have something to do with work. And I was a construction laborer, so I called myself a blue collar poet. Now I kind of call myself a self-help poet.
Nice.
Because I've changed my whole shtick, maybe, or just how I look at things, a little less bitter. That was an old poem that I meant to America. So this is more recent, called Bodhisattva Spider Raccoon Prisoner. Now, and if I understand it correctly, and I've used the word correctly, Bodhisattva is someone that is a spiritual teacher that teaches his pupils to go on to spiritual enlightenment, but he himself stays put to send the next person on, kind of like a helper, throwing people over the wall spiritually. So that's, so you can think of that as the spider here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Bodhisattva Spider Raccoon Prisoner. This morning, a walking meditation with a leashed dog. Autumn sunrise, dewgrass, river tide receding. Robins gather on the lawn like university students in the quad. The dog tugs in its preferred direction. Across our way is a single strand of spider silk. It spans from spruce to spruce. Shines in the sun like a single ultra-white ray. Before I'm even able to exhale, my unmindful arm swings involuntarily and sweeps the strand from my way. Too often that would be the interaction, a flourish unnoticed, a broken strand in the sea of uncounted seconds that spill over and around us and through us with unrelenting precision. Cosmic sandpaper that files us to dust. This morning, I stopped. The dog stopped too. He caught a scent on the wind and froze, deciphering with his nose. Arrested, I considered the silken strand now parted and undulating in two parts in the morning sun. Why destroy such a marvel of engineering, I asked myself. Excuses appeared in the form of memories and unpleasant experiences with spider silk in my eyes and hair in basements, attics, abandoned houses. Maybe too the remnant resentment from a past life as an insect. Why hadn't I simply ducked beneath this strand and left it intact? The idea never occurred to me until it was too late. I picture the spider eyeing me from one spruce or the other. Wise beyond resentment, he begins toiling anew. Same morning, same walk, I dropped the leash to allow the dog a modicum of freedom. He chased the scent into the brush and his leash tangled. He pulled and sniffed until reason overrode his senses. He turned his eyes reluctantly to me for help. The pathos of his beagle gaze transported me to a morning years before. I'd set up a live trap for a squirrel and caught a raccoon instead. The raccoon's eyes were bewildered and defeated. He had barely even fit in the trap. He no longer feared me. He was completely defeated by the fact that his most strenuous efforts were powerless to set himself free. In fact, he could barely move. Too many times I've been that raccoon. Too many times a tangled leash dog. Too many times I've taken the bait of unbridled desire, become ensnared in a hedgework of fear, bound by the weeds of other people's opinions. Too often I've stepped into cages of carelessness that slammed shut. Today I freed the dog's leash, ducked beneath the next spider silk I saw, returned to the house, and wrote all this down. So the last thing that I'll leave you with, and I cannot thank you enough for allowing me an opportunity to read. You know, it's you make music, you write poems, you do these things to share them, and it's nice to be able to share them, and nice to be able to share them in person. So this is actually came out of a writing workshop. They asked us to write a blessing, and I remembered a fellow I saw, of all things, I'll break my anonymity, it's at a Narcotics Anonymous meeting, and he said he woke up every day in the morning and said thank you first thing, and I was sitting there in a bad mood. I said, bullshit. But I started trying it, and really kind of transformed my life. That was many, many years ago. So at any rate, that guy died. So this is a poem in his memory. Today, a blessing in memory of Randy. Today, when you open your eyes, may your first thought be thank you. May you owe nothing, be owed nothing. Today, when you awaken, may you be greeted by the truth that this life is transitory, a gift to be cherished in the present. If you are able to stand, stand for those who cannot. If you can walk, walk for those who cannot. The day will come that you can neither stand, nor walk, nor even breathe. Breath is a gift. The day is a gift. There are arguments and complaints to the contrary in the billions. Today, when you awaken, may you answer these with a smile, the word yes, and the sacred prayer. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Richard. That was awesome.